This will be, at the end of the day, is to make sure that people who are responsible for whatever happened to this young man, they are brought to justice one way or the other. But we are not going to do that through the social media. But there are so many unknowns about the death of this young man. And the people who can help us is the police. For now, they've set up a committee to investigate. That is one way about it. The body has been exhumed. That's one way. But it's not limited to that. You have that committee, then there should be another subcommittee. One committee is dealing with the medical aspect, like the exhumation of the body, the autopsy. That's one. Then another subcommittee will be looking for circumstantial evidence relating to the death of this young man. There will be another subcommittee who are taking statements from witnesses. That's how you can build a cast iron case in order to get the justice which everybody is demanding for. And there is one important thing which I'm going to mention here. And people are not pointing finger. It doesn't mean I'm accusing the wife, doesn't mean I'm accusing the father. But you see, when the police needs to widen the net regarding the death of this young man, and when you are investigating an homicide, you leave no stone unturned. You understand? First of all, one, the conduct of some of the immediate family members are very disturbing. And I must say this to you, and I'm not saying maybe the wife is guilty or the father is guilty or anything, but that is the way these things work. When you are investigating homicide, you might be looking this way. At the same time, you need to look at the immediate family members also. And you have seen situations whereby, you know, as I do, wife come on telly, crying, saying this, and then at the end of the day, they are the one behind the death of their husband. And you have seen it vice versa also. Now, the issue remains this. Shortly after this guy passed away, there was something posted by the wife saying, you can have your trophy now because he has always lived in fear, he's been pain and this and that. Now, you see, that is understandable. But it begs the question, what did you do as a wife? Did you seek help? Did you cry out at that time? Maybe if she has done that, maybe the husband will still be here. That is hypothetical. But the sub point to that, now he has passed away. You now went to lawyers, saying they should help you to get justice. You see, when you look at that, to me, it doesn't add up. And I must say this to you. If I marry you, Vero, we have a mutual duty towards each other.
Absolutely.
Do you understand me? Now, let's look at it for the ease of understanding. The night before, we quarrel. You don't talk to me as my wife. I don't talk to you as your husband for one reason or the other. Husband and wife quarreling with each other is part of the wear and tear of love. Absolutely. It's not new. And we went to bed. During the course of the night, I developed this stomach pain, severe stomach pain. And you could see me wrenching with pain on the bed. But because we are not talking, haven't you seen a message from another woman on my mobile? You are just looking. Then, regrettably, I passed on. Now, the next day, people will troop in and say, oh, sorry, oh, you lost your husband, blah, blah, blah. No doubt you will cry, because that's how you can come to terms with the grief. But are you not a suspect? That is the question. Because when the medical examiners come into play, they can tell you that had I received adequate medical help for the next 6 hours, I wouldn't have died. And you didn't do anything. So, you see, and that can cause all sorts of, if you fail to act when you are supposed to, you are equally liable. And people have been charged for manslaughter for this sort of situation.
Right, sorry, let me put in. Very nice, the hypothesis that they've actually advanced. But then, was it not, could it have been that the wife was aware when Mohbad, because he allegedly wrote petitions against some of the aggressors, to the police. Is it that the police also didn't act when they were supposed to act?
You see, these are the missing piece of the jigsaw that somebody will need to help us with, either through the inquest or through the criminal prosecution. We will know as time goes by. But for now, what I'm saying is that, you see, the police should widen the net. And I'm repeating that. Because even if you look at the conduct of the father, though we sympathize with them, I'm not saying they are responsible. But, you see, what do? You join the dots, look at things in the round, and then you make a case. Now, the father, from the look of it, seems to be a man of God. Let's just say that for the sake of argument. Because what he's been saying is that he gave him a land to build a church. So he must be religious in one way. Then if that is the case, you lost your son. We know in that state of mind, you may not be able to think rationally and then in a state of confusion. What is this idea of let's bury him in the middle of the night? Now, his excuse, he said because it is the culture where he comes from. He's a Yoruba man. I'm a Yoruba man. I'm not an Hausa. So that culture says that if you lost your son, there shouldn't be a befitting burial. What we should do is to bury the child in the middle of the night. And you know the local ballet, what he said? He said, no, you can't do this. It's around 12 midnight. Why are you coming with diggers and everything to bury him suddenly? And I must say something to you too. You see, if you look at some of the contracts of this guy, he has with the promoter or whatever the people are. If there is a death clause, and the death clause provides that in terms of sudden death, the promoter or whoever will pay the sum of so amount to your next of kin, either during performance or outside or sudden death. Anyway, it is probable that some people will be planning your death. Okay? But that is the reality, Vero, please. And also, I must tell you, if there is an insurance policy that will pay substantial amount of money, okay, in terms of sudden death, either a whole life policy or term policy, whatever it is, there is a possibility some people will be planning. And we have seen situations whereby wife planned the death of their husband because in order to get
insurance policy
claim. Do you understand? And the problem I have with the police in this case is that either the exhumation of the body, I'm not blaming them, it seems to be very hasty, but maybe they are still doing other things. The best thing that can lead them to the right course is take his phone and do what they call a cell phone analysis. When you do the cell phone analysis, you will know those who he has been communicating with, period to the death. You will know those who have been threatening him. You will know those who have been having one issue or the other.
Sorry, do you not feel that would pose some challenges? Because there was a video of him talking to the wife that what happened to my other phone. At least we have the same backup.
iCloud, yes.
We have
backup on their iCloud.
You're right. Yes. So why did you delete it? So that is this what you want to post?
Now that's not even an issue. I will tell you how it works. If I send you a message that, oh, you are my honey pie, you are my this and that and all these salacious messages, and then you read, you delete, that's fine. It's still in your mobile. 3 years down the line, if there's a criminal investigation and we retrieve that mobile and do what we call a cell phone analysis, all your messages will be there. And I still vividly recall some years ago, I represented this drug dealer. If you see the messages, in fact, there was a woman, I think the guy was dating one woman in Nigeria. If you read, if all these women, that woman body part is in this guy's phone. And when they did the cell phone analysis, you'll be surprised. This woman can compose some messages that when you read them, your head will turn. And I must be sincere to you that we even, because, you know, when you are doing all these cases, you label them. So we call her Tutu Fruity. Because all our own messages, we have to narrow them down. You understand?
Right.
But if you see what goes on there, so if whether it is deleted or there's a video arguing with the wife, or that is not even an issue. They can still get it. Because don't forget, all those messages are still there. Once we know the number, you give it to the expert, and that will lead the police into it. And the other question which I'm concerned about is that, you see, the father is somebody who is knowledgeable in a way, because there was a decision whether they should build a church and what have you. Then why are you in a hurry to get this guy buried? So what I'm saying, police must not leave any stone unturned. Forget the exhumation. Exhumation is one part of the missing piece of the jigsaw. There are other things they still need to look at, and there are other things they need to obtain that will lead them to the right place, so that they know.
So perhaps you need to expatiate on some other things that they need to look into. Yes, you've talked about getting his phone and also looking into the family, because you talked about the conduct of perhaps relatives at the burial site where they were talking about his properties, so to speak, and all of that, as well as his wife, expanding that net, because some Nigerians are saying they do not believe that they'll get justice at the end of the day with whatever is going on. But as it is important we get to the root of this matter.
It is. You see, once there's a sudden death and we don't come together to ask questions, you don't know where the next victim is going to come from.
Right.
It might even be your relative. It could be somebody very close to your heart. And you yourself you will not become normal. Because, so what we all need to do, if we have information that will assist the police, let's pass it on. But what they've done, they set up this committee, we don't even know how to contact them. Some people may have the information that will help their investigation. Right. Because you need to engage in what they call a filtering system. When you are investigating, people are giving you information, and are we going to follow this? Are we going to lead? This can lead you to any other thing. Yeah, you getting me? And at the same time, while you are treating people as a victim, at the same time you must be treating them as a suspect. And there was an incident that happened years ago in London. This was even strange. The man set the house on fire. He has about 8 children, and he's been asking the council to give him a bigger accommodation. And the council are saying, we will put you on a waiting list. So what he now did with the wife was to set the house on fire. Now, let me tell you, the initial belief was that it was the work of an arsonist. Now, later on, they set the house on fire, things went wrong. 2 of the children sadly passed away. Now, there was an outpouring of emotion within the community, candlelight procession, what have you. But the police now shoot somebody as a liaison officer, helping them. The liaison officer will be keeping them informed about the progress. But at the same time, some set of police officers are secretly investigating them. And what they did was very unique. They now said, look, the remaining children, we know you've lost 2 children. The remaining children will be taken into care by the social services and placed with foster parents, which is quite okay. Right. But you and your wife, we have already rented an hotel for you to lodge in. Because you can't stay in the house. Wow. Let me tell you, but the police have already booked that hotel, that room. And do you know what happened again? That same night, they even make love. I'm telling you. And in the course of that, the man now said, you stick to the story. You must back me up to the end. From there, they now realize they are the people behind. But if we keep treating them as victims alone, and we don't treat them as suspects, will they get that result? That is the question. Right. You get me? So you do get that sort of situation. And the police needs to make sure they turn all the table in this case so that we get to it. And the other thing I would like to mention quickly is that, you see, this guy, is just unfortunate, the circumstances that led to his death. But there's something that is happening now. People are going there, donating money to the mother out of human compassion. Right. There's nothing wrong, but they should stop it.
Why?
Thank you for asking me. You see, when deaths happen and it's not well handled, issues will remain forever. Okay, take that. There are families in this country now, as we speak, because of the death of their loved one and the way their brother handled the funeral and the properties, because of that families, they are not together
again.
up to today. And there's a Yoruba program I used to watch just to know what goes on in the local Mugbejo or something they call it.
Yeah.
You see people coming, then you ask yourself, how did this happen? Now, let me tell you. Now, people got, one of the senators, he said he's the chairman of the Creative Arts. He visited the mother. And the media report in this day was that the man gave a substantial amount of money. There was somebody called Todike or something like that. Yes, that one promised 100,000 every month. Only God knows when that will stop. Now, let me tell you this now. Assuming it goes on that way, and the mother ended up getting about 20 million. Then the relatives of the wife will say, oh, but all the money mommy received didn't even give us a penny. That then some other people will say you are turning it to a lucrative business. And then the family disintegration will start from there. Okay? But what should have happened? And you see, that's where I blame those who call themselves either as promoters or what have you. What they should have done, this guy seems to be loved by so many people from what you have seen so far. The moment a person, you can approach a bank, and there's a particular bank, they are very good at this. They can easily create an account for you. Either we call it Mohbad Memorial Account. Anybody who wants to donate anything, put it in that account. Then we will have a trustee that will manage the account. Because this boy, you see, he has some good desires. If you listen to the mother said he rented 3 shops for her and promised to give her 5 million until the sudden death. Now, it is the little drop that makes the mighty ocean. When everybody contribute 1 million, all these young guys who love him, and then they can say 500, what have you. In the end, before you realize, you might end up having 200 million. Then the trustee will now sit down and say, look, when he was alive, he promised the mother 5 million. Let's give that 5 million to the mother. What are the causes he believed in him? Did he believe in helping homeless people? Let's do this. Now, what of the son? This. What of the wife? Let's give this, okay?
And the father.
And the father. And then the cause of death, okay, because he died very young as a upcoming musician, or maybe he has come of age, because I'm not one of the fans. But the issue is this. Do we, every year, upcoming artists, we are going to help them in his memory. You see, that will linger on for years and years to come. But when you go to meet the mother and give 500, you go and meet the father, you are not helping them. So what we should do is to have an account where people will donate in his memory. And that will now the body, has been assumed, is going to be reburied at a particular point in time, in which case now maybe it's going to be a celebration of his life. Do you see? And he himself, as he said, as he said something, what sort of, because, during the COVID, I was in a home hospital because I was sick. But while my relatives are coming, I now call this friend that, look, I don't know what is likely to happen. People are dying here. But should I go? I don't want any poster saying painful exit. There's nothing painful. You can just say Johnny is gone forever and leave it that way. Because you see, it's good to have a say in what happened when you are not here.
Yeah.
Do you understand me?
Yeah.
But secretly, the two of us were planning that, look, I don't want any poster saying painful exit. I'll be upset in my grave. Just make it that Johnny is gone forever. Do you understand me?
Right.
This is the way it's supposed to be. Do you get? Then we can celebrate his life, the little life. At least within the age of 27 years, he has made an impact in our life, and he has made something for himself. Do you get? That is the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
Not people going in and saying.
Because of our time, you've really uncovered a lot of things. It touched on a lot of things, and then opened another vista of conversation regarding the death surrounding Mohbad. But very quickly, because of our time.
Yes.
accusing fingers have been pointed to Naira Marley, Sam Larry, etc., and the record label as a whole. And even the money, he's still making a hell of a money, even in death, like $700 million, according to research. What do you think the police should do in that regard? We've not heard of any arrest being made in terms of where the accusing, apart from the nurse, where the accusing fingers are pointed.
Yes, people are going to point accusing finger anyway. But even if you die, some people can say it's your wife who killed you, despite the fact it was heart attack. So that is the way the country is. But the point is this issue, contractual dispute, is something that normally happens in an entertainment industry.
But this came with a bully?
Yes, but with... you see, it's a criminal offense to make a threat to kill. That's the starting point. But at the same time, you have to look at when did that threat happen. And did the threat lead to death? That's another thing. Because if I threaten to kill you and you don't die within 1 year and 1 day, I'm not culpable by the law in Nigeria. Maybe the law in another country is a different thing. Now, if there has been, you see, that's why the cell phone analysis comes in, because they are going to say we didn't threaten him, though we argue, which is this and that. But when you do the analysis, no doubt there has been a hot.
But there are video evidences on social media showing how he was attacked and all of it.
You see, that is where it comes from. You put everything together. That's where you are looking at it in the round to build a case against these people, and they could be brought to justice in one way or the other. It's not impossible. But for now, the issue is this. This should be part of the investigation. Or was this guy totally paranoid himself, believing there are some... You see, it could be a mental health issues. And the people around him didn't do anything, because it appears what the mother is saying, what the wife is saying is that he has never been happy, this and that. It may well be somebody who's just totally paranoid or is suffering from some... You see, you need to get the psychiatrists in too. They will be able to interpret things and help with your investigation. And when you set up this committee, it must be people who are well experienced in carrying out homicide investigation. And what the police don't do in Nigeria, which they do abroad, which I know, is that, you see, when you are investigating death of this nation, there are some retired officers. Maybe they helped some years ago in investigating the death of a particular person. You can call upon them and they will help you, because they will help you with an input. And all these people who are being accused, if they have something, if you have nothing to hide, come home and assist the police. If you have something to hide, stay in London and be sending messages. There will be a day when you will enter the witness box and somebody is going to ask you a question about it, that you are now saying is your friend, you are now saying is somebody you love so much, but when you heard about his death, why did you not come home to assist the police, especially when people are casting aspersion about you? That is what an innocent person will do. And the way forward about this, let us celebrate the little life. Let us try as much as possible and start thinking what they are going to do. What of the royalties for all the music? Where is it going to go? Do you understand me? I can't. You see, these are the issues we need to address. There is nothing we're going to do that will bring him back to life. If there's a resurrection day, hopefully it will be. But for now, it's dead. And what we need to do is to celebrate his life and at the same time get justice. And people, when they are dead, doesn't mean they can't give evidence. Some even give evidence from their grave. And I'll tell you how it works. Yes, thank you for asking. I'll tell you. Because some people are very good in keeping diary.
Yeah.
Do you get?
Well, I thought they wanted to enlist the Amadioha
or spirits.
Or invocation of the
spirits. Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. And that involves it's part of the job the police should do.
Exactly.
Go into the house to search.
They haven't done that up to now. We haven't heard that has been done. When they search, they don't know what they were going to discover. Because, you know, if you have lost your dad, you've lost your mom. Once they are no longer here and you are clearing the house, there are some things you're going to see. Sometimes you will even see love letters that will really say, so that they has even been having fun. So